Hello again, and welcome to SCLC Today TV. I'm your host, Maynard Eaton, and of course, our president and CEO, Dr. Charles Steele Jr. Welcome, Dr. Steele. As
Thank
you
you.
well know, sir, as you well know, this is Black History Month. Does it still mean anything? You're a product of the South. You're the head of SCLC, office on Auburn Avenue. Black History Month still have any significance, really?
Well, more than ever, Maynard. And as I was telling someone the other day on an interview program via Zoom, that yes, it means more now than ever before. Because guess what? We got to do it all over again. We have lost, Mr. Eden, 50 years, man. We used to own our own hotel, business districts, restaurants, pool halls. A place in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, we call Greenfront. That's where all the black businesses were. We used to had a shoe repair. And it's amazing how we have lost all of the historicity of what we have accomplished in terms of ownership. We lost the land. We don't build anything. We don't get into vocational education. We let the system talk us out of that and force us out of that. We have lost, my friend. So we have to do it all over again. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because conspiracy silence is destined for failure. If you don't talk about it and you don't educate about it, don't let folks know what the facts are, you are destined to repeat it, and we are on our way.
Dr. Steele, one prime example of what you're saying is right where our office is, on Auburn Avenue. Once the richest Negro street in America, now
That's right.
on a downslide. I heard one construction man say it may come back. But right now, Black History Month 2021, Auburn Avenue, where we live, is suffering.
It's suffering. And it's sad, to see the impoverishedness around Auburn Avenue, which used to be one of Black Wall Street, just like in Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, was Black Wall Street. We can never start fighting collectively. And what I was so saddened about just here in Atlanta, just in the last 48 hours, a young 12-year-old student, young man, leaving home, telling his mother he's going to play with his friends. And a few hours later, out in the woods, somewhere close by his home, they heard a collaboration of range of gunfire, more than one or two shots, just a bullet range of exchange that was right there near his home. And he said, "Mom, I'm going home. I'm going out, rather, to play with my friends." Is that the way we play today? With automatic weapons and weapons of assassination and violence to destroy and to kill? To me, it's very demonic.
Something else that's seemingly been demonic is COVID-19, its impact it's had on people of color, particularly. But you made a decision this week. One of you have been reluctant to admit, but you got the vaccination. You changed your mind.
Moderna. I got it. I changed my mind. I did the check facts type of research, and I've been very serious and prayerful about this. And I did my research, and it came out very positively. And I got the shot, and I get the other one on March the 10th. And I'm happy to say that I feel comfortable that I took this Moderna, and it's going to be a success, and you have to have envisioned your success in terms of the community. And let me just say this, Mr. Eden, it's a fact that African Americans, Black and brown people, are behind on getting the shots, not just because they're leery of it or afraid of it or don't trust it. It's that other people of ethnicity and background are in the front line. And I know many of people who are Black and brown saying that they cannot get the shot. So I'm just saying it is discriminatory practices in every aspect of today's and yesteryear's society. Nothing has changed. Everything remained the same.
Now, again, I want to reemphasize, you're telling our audience now, SCLC members, get the vaccination? You're saying that it's
I'm telling them I took the vaccination. People have to, people have to make up their own mind and have their own research. You know, that's what's, I think is a problem when people don't get the facts. You know, in the Kenyan philosophy, first thing Dr. King and Dr. Lafayette and other trainers say, gather the information. I got the information. All I'm telling my folks is that I got it. If you trust me on getting the facts and the information, then you do your research as well and say, wow, I got the same facts Charles got, and I want to get it.
That's a good answer.
I got the chance.
I did it.
I did the Moderna. I did it.
Speaking of another major issue, just ended today, the ongoing trial, second impeachment of ex-President Trump. There's been some really gut-wrenching testimony, some really riveting, compelling videos. Should he be impeached? Should the Senate vote to impeach him, Dr. Steele?
Without a doubt. What I'm disturbed on, Maynard, is the fact that you have politicians, and basically let's call it the way it is, and I'm an independent. You have politicians, and I haven't always been an independent. I was a Democrat, which I think is a better party for poor folks and people who've been disenfranchised. But politically, I'm an independent.
But let me ask you this, though, sir.
Yes, please.
When you were a state legislator in Alabama, you did work with Republicans, though, did you not, to get things done?
Absolutely.
I remember.
Absolutely. We have to work with, but it's different at the federal level. It's really different. At the state level versus the federal level, it's totally different. I mean, yes, you have to work together. It should be like that at all levels. But at the federal level, you even have Republicans sitting on one side and Democrats on another side. That is ludicrous, in my opinion. Why should that be? You should be integrated in a setting like that. But at the federal level, you know, politics is all about who's going to get the money. But this is my point. Politics should never, in terms of partisanship in politics, should never supersede right versus wrong. What am I talking about? When you have the facts, and you're supposed to be a person of principle in doing what's right and standing for, in God we trust, you do not let partisan politics get over the facts of doing what's right and the trusting of the people that sent you there to explain to them that I'm not hung up on being reelected. I am hung up on doing what's right. You know, as Expedium said, you know, ask the question, is it safe? Vanity asks, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right?
And you're saying, and many others agree with you, it certainly wasn't right to attack that Capitol and threaten Nancy Pelosi and the vice president and others. It seemed like really an insurrection looking at and hearing the testimony.
It is an insurrection. It's treason. And had that been people of color, black or brown?
Oh, wow.
Oh, come on, Mr. E. They would be dead. They would be dead in the hundreds. They would be dead. And I have a problem with people who are in the elected position who's more concerned about being reelected and having a position and not carrying out the fulfillment of responsibility of representing the people. All God's children, all of the people.
Speaking of people of color being dead, somebody you were with this week, Attorney Ben Crump, has been representing many of the black men murdered, and also Malawi Davis, another noted black attorney. You were with them on an issue this week. They're noted worldwide known attorneys, much like you are worldwide known for civil rights. What you guys cooking up, man?
Well, thank you for the question. Attorney Miles Davis, who's also in his own right one of the greatest attorneys, and working with Attorney Ben Crump, who's the two of them are friends. of SCLC and myself, and outstanding attorneys. And when I was asked to come this past Monday with them dealing with a case, because Attorney Davis has been keeping me abreast of Coach Travis Williams, who formerly coached at Tennessee State and Fort Valley, when he came up with a concept and he carried it to the NCAA. And thank God for Attorney Mary Davis and the other attorneys. There were at least 3 or 4 attorneys there from New York, and one young lady, attorney, who actually has her own sports counseling business, and also a former women NBA star in her own right, and an attorney. So my whole point is that this was quite a coming together of what I've been talking about in terms of intellectual properties. When you come up with an idea and you take it to a source and they agree to work with you, and then the next thing you know, they turn it over to someone that's not of African American descent, or someone from another ethnicity and background. And then they're going to try and implement what you brought them. Not only is that treason in what's taking place in Washington, D.C., that's his thievery. And it's dealing with intellectual properties being controlled by those who have the resources of implementation and taken away from those who bring the selective ideas to you in trust. So I'm just having to say, as Attorney Crump and Attorney Davis said, and other attorneys, that it was just the first quarter that we are working with this young man and Coach Travis Williams, and we feel very good about it. And I'm just honored that they saw where SCLC and my leadership could fit in.
Dr. Steele, we hear the name Ben Crump and Malawi Davis associated with murders and young black men and women being killed. You're saying there's another kind of crime going on as well that may not hit the headline, may not hit the front page. It's just as lethal in many respects, is it not?
Absolutely. Don't forget the cliche that I present somewhat sometimes in terms of Victor Hugo, who said that there is more misery among the poor than there is humanity among the rich. People who control the wealth cares nothing about those who have been disenfranchised and those who trying to make it up the ladder of economics and success. They not only will take your plan, they will take you, and you will never know it until you find out and see it on the national news and the international sports arena. Just an example of what's happened to Coach Williams. But we're going to fight for this. And I took a stand with them, and I said, in case you don't work this out with Coach Williams, then we're going to have an appointed date to take this all over the world and let the NCAA know that we're not going to tolerate any discriminatory practices from them or anyone else.
Thank you, Dr. Steele. Also, thank you for taking that stand to get your vaccination. That was your decision. I think others should follow. I know I will. Anyway, thanks a lot again. This has been SCLC Today TV with Dr. Charles Steele Jr.